Milo dreamed. He sat under a pine tree atop a lonely hill. The branches were naked, from age or weather or illness, he couldn't tell. A fat, full moon lit the sky to an almost sunshine brightness. His head rested in the lap of the dead blonde, lolling against her spongy, decaying flesh. Her intestines spread across her legs like the folds of a hideous dress, giving Milo plenty of room to get comfortable. Flies hovered over her blackened offal, buzzing and buzzing, all around her and Milo, but never landing to feed. Who could blame them? The dead blonde stroked his hair and hummed a soft, gentle tune. "That's a beautiful song," Milo said. She stopped humming and looked down at him with black marbles for eyes. "Thank you. It's the song I used to sing to put my daughter to sleep every night." A flutter arose in Milo's belly. You have a daughter?" "Yes, I did. Before you took me from her." Milo rolled this idea over in his mind. He never considered that the horrors he and Spencer were ridding the world of could be someone's mother. "Her name was Amanda," the dead blonde said, smiling in her half-broken way. "She was always so timid, afraid of every little thing. But most of all, she was afraid of the dark, afraid of what she thought was out there in the blackness. I would tell her not to worry, that there were no monsters in the dark of the night waiting to gobble her up." The dead blonde's smile faltered. "You made a liar out of me, Milo. You do realize that, don't you?" "I'm very sorry," he said. "No, you're not." Milo looked away. He couldn't argue with someone's mother. "Was I right?" the dead blonde asked as she returned to stroking his hair. "About what?" Milo asked. "About your brother." Milo nodded. "He is a liar." "Don't ever forget that, Milo. Promise me that no matter what happens, no matter how strange or unreal things seem, don't forget. I promise." A tear broke free from the corner of his eye before he realized he wanted to cry. "No, you don't." She touched his damp face, then licked the salty tears from her finger with a soft groan. "You can't promise me that, even if you wanted to with all your heart. You can't." She went back to humming for a little while, stroking his hair while he silently wept. After a bit of this, she said, "You seem sad." "I am," Milo confessed. "Why?" "Because I don't understand why this is happening to me." "You mean, why do you change?" "Yes." "Everything and everyone changes, Milo. Nothing stays the same." Milo sat up and shook his head at her. "But not like this, surely not like this. This hurts so much." He reached out for her, embracing the dead blonde, cradling her crumbling body to him. "Why does it have to hurt so much?" "Change is painful," the dead blonde said. She slipped away from his arms and crawled up the trunk into the branches of the tree. She didn't climb, didn't haul herself up hand over foot. No, she crawled up the trunk as easy as if she were crawling across the floor. The naked branches snagged her guts here and there as she made her way high into the tree. Her flies took off into the tree as well, perching across the bare limbs as they waited for her to settle once more. When she settled into the top, she said, "Change hurts everyone." "No," Milo said. He got to his feet and raised his face to her, shielding his eyes against the bright moonlight. It hurt his head to look up at her, at the naked pine filled with such grotesque garland, dotted with the shiny ornaments of blowflies, and topped by a monstrous angel. "This is different." "Why?" she said. "Do you think you're special? That no one else in the world ever changes?" "Not the way I do. Not into something completely different." "Something completely different? Is that what you think you become?" The dead blonde laughed, sharp and cruel, sending her cloud of flies in a scatter from the tree, like a flock of tiny birds fleeing her sudden humor. When her laughter died down, she asked, "Do you want to know a secret?" Milo nodded. You never change, the dead blonde said. You're always the same. No, Milo whispered. Just because you lower on all fours and kill with tooth and claw, it doesn't mean you're any different. You're exactly the thing you've always been. Just hairier. She laughed again. Milo covered his ears, trying to block her out. No! When the dead blonde spoke again, it wasn't her sweet, tinkling voice Milo heard. Instead, it was the voice of his lying brother that issued from her blackened lips. You're an animal, little bro. You always have been. Always will be. Shut up! Milo shrieked. You do not become the beast, the dead blonde said, in her own voice this time. You are the beast, Milo. You always were. You were the beast. Milo screamed for her to shut up, but she shrieked those same words over and over and over from the top of the tree for all the world to hear.